While I was sitting at a vivid rock concert, inside one of the most unique architectural structures in the world, inside one of the most famous opera houses, and perhaps the most iconic building in the Southern Hemisphere, a strange thought came to me. How is it possible that the person who designed this masterpiece never actually saw it? Let's step into the story of one of the most important buildings in the Southern Hemisphere, one of the most significant architectural works of the 20th century. Jørn Utzon, the Danish architect who designed this building, was alive, but he never stepped inside it. But why? How is it possible for someone to create a masterpiece and then never see the result of their own vision? In 1956, the Australian government announced an international competition to design an opera house. Hundreds of proposals were submitted, but none of them were bold enough to truly stand out. Then, a young and unknown architect from Denmark submitted a design, something completely different. At first, his design was even rejected, but one of the judges paused while reviewing the discarded entries and said, "This is not just a building, this is a sculpture, this is a work of art." And that moment changed everything. Utzon won the competition, but that was only the beginning of a much bigger challenge. No one knew how this building could actually be constructed. Those curved roofs, that radical design, with the technology of that time, it seemed almost impossible. A masterpiece on paper, but an engineering nightmare in reality. So Utzon spent months thinking, testing, and searching for a solution until he found it in something surprisingly simple: an orange. He realized that if the shells were treated as sections of a perfect sphere, they could be constructed and assembled together. This idea didn't just save the building, it changed modern architecture. But politics has always been the enemy of innovation. The project's cost, originally estimated at $7 million, rose to $102 million. It became a financial disaster, and then the government changed. The new politicians no longer wanted to support such a project. So what did they do? They pressured Utzon. They made the process difficult. They cut the funding and eventually forced him to resign, or perhaps he chose to leave. Either way, he left Australia and never returned. But there was one major problem. The building was still unfinished. So the government brought in a new team of architects to complete the project. But they were not Utzon. Many of the original design details were changed. Ideas he had fought for over years were altered in just a short time by others. When the Sydney Opera House finally opened in 1973, Utzon was not there. He wasn't even invited. But a building is not made only of concrete and steel. It is made of ideas that never disappear. That night, as the vivid concert began inside this space, I realized something. This is not just a concert hall. This place is a living instrument.
Welcome to the Sydney Opera House and enjoy the show.
When the lights went down and the music filled the space, I understood that this hall is not just a listener, it is part of the performance itself. Light, sound, space, everything becomes one. Jørn Utzon was never here, but every time music fills this hall, every time the light touches these wave-like shells, every time someone like me sits here and is absorbed by the sound and the space, Utzon is here.